Here is proof you are never too young to learn. Children just 6 months old, still wearing nappies, being sent off to school. Of course, at that age, they're learning machines, and many Australian parents are putting that to good use, enrolling their kids in special super schools developed by the Japanese.
During 0 to 3 years old, children actually learn and absorb very quickly.
They literally see that picture for 3 seconds and then she can literally make the picture.
I think we've got some future Prime Ministers.
Education is said to empower people. Imagine if that began before you could crawl. Welcome to an education revolution.
Good morning, everybody.
Lessons for the tiniest of students.
3 + 2 is 5.
Shishita is the first school of its kind in Australia, educating babies from 6 months to 6 years.
It's really about maximising something that all of us were born with.
Xiaoling Lim's the school's director.
The rate that children learn between 0 to 3 years old has been compared by psychologists that it takes about 60 years in adulthood.
So could this be the start of a super breed of super kids?
Well, I think that might be the fantasy of some parents.
It may look like play school, but in these classes, these little people are doing unthinkable tasks, like photographic recall, high-speed complex mental calculation, language acquisition, boosting intelligence, memory and concentration.
This is my daughter Matilda, and she just turned 2.5.
Matilda and mum Sydney Hodge.
Today she was learning to count in odd numbers, so using 3 was the magic number today.
From the time a child is born to the age of 6, they're like sponges absorbing information. By the time they reach 6, their brain has reached about 70% of its full capacity. This school for tiny tots aims to unlock their greatest potential.
I'm going to grow old. You're going to grow old, and I want those kids to be my doctor.
The key to learning is stimulating the 5 senses, using music and sounds, colours and activities to enhance the right brain development.
What I really liked about it was the fact that it's learning but fun and no pressure.
Vicky Lowe's 2 daughters, aged 4 and 2, attend the classes.
Sarah is very numeric. Naturally, I saw it when she was 1.5, and this kept that momentum going.
One day in the land of fruit galore, there was a great big giant.
Watch as these 4-year-old boys spend a few minutes memorising 20 numbers and pictures, only to correctly recite them back.
What's the picture?
Woo.
What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and what was the number?
8, 9.
Yes, you're right.
This method of infant teaching began in Japan about 35 years ago, spreading quickly through the country, then across Asia, and then the United States, before arriving here.
In Japan, there's a team of 100 people that has gone through a lot of research and defining exactly at what age we do what activity.
These tots do one 50-minute class a week with extra practice at home. Parent participation is the key. Teacher Amber Smith helped create the Australian version of the Japanese program.
Each activity can be completed within 2 minutes. We believe that a child can only really concentrate on something between a minute and 3 minutes before they get sick of it.
Neuroscientific evidence suggests early childhood education should begin virtually at birth.
It's a very subconscious learning.
But some education experts call this hothousing, an effort to create a super baby, in other words, a genius.
Hothousing is an attempt to accelerate the normal learning curve of young children.
Diana Canny, Professor of Psychology and Music at the University of Sydney, says that if an accelerated program involves pressure, it can be detrimental.
Children can become anxious about their learning. They can come to think of themselves as only valuable or lovable if they achieve at a very high level.
Take the rubber bands off.
While this program will be beneficial to some children, is there any evidence to justify the money, time and effort spent?
There is no published literature in the scholarly data. If it's only 50 minutes a week, I don't think it will do any harm if the children are handled sensitively.
Most of the kids here, I don't think they even know that they're learning.
As Lynda Kinkade reporting, soon those schools will offer Mandarin and Japanese language classes, and a similar learning centre will open in Sydney later this year. You can find more information on our website. We're also happy to hear what you think about it. Is 6 months too early to be enrolling a child into a school environment? As always, you can have your say at yahoo7.com.au/todaytonight. Here's what's coming up.